when they are feeding us back, I could see the numbers and they say, oh, it's actually more than Deeper Life because the number exceeds the number for Deeper Life. So we thank God so much. Okay, we want to thank God. I'm not going to be taking much of your time today. I want just to, probably I'm going to help one or two people today, especially those who want to see their life changing, those who are passionate about doing something about life, something about changing life. Last time our pastors were talking of stewardship, financial stewardship. It touched me so much. It has touched me. It has touched me. I went home. I thought over it. And I said, yes, it's true. It's in IT, all those things. But I'm telling you, when it comes to money, it needs stewardship. It comes to stewardship. How to keep money. How to keep out of debt. How to be responsible. How to keep things that God has given you and grow them. For some few minutes, just very quick few minutes. And I went and I repented before God. I told God my problems. I went to God and said, I know I have mismanaged your resources. I have mismanaged my resources. I have mismanaged my family resources. I have mismanaged your resources. I actually went to the point of saying, I actually mismanaged your church resources. I was looking at what came through my hands. How much came through my hands? And how much of that can I account for? How much of that can I account for? That's why you could see Jesus Christ could actually order people to pick the leftovers. Yeah. But people ate. What about women? What about children? Amen. But they went through, they ate, all of them were full. Amen. How can God, who is not limited to bread or fish, would say, and Christ didn't, because I was full, I don't mind anymore, all the baskets went to. I can't answer that. All that I have is some school of thought that probably it was given to that young boy. And I don't think so. I don't think so. That is the wrong school of thought, because that young boy brought in fish and brought in bread. He could not take home such type of tempted fish. He was going to be in trouble. And probably from guessing the mother and the father, where could they take that bread? Who could eat such fish? 12 baskets, 12. When would you finish them? Who would finish them in one day? Who could eat that type of bread? You know, when they were given the bread, it was a real bread. Pieces, good pieces, fresh pieces. Fish, it was from the sea. Fresh fish. But after being stamped upon, who could eat such type of a fish? But yet Jesus said, put them in a basket. How could God do that? That's stewardship. That's what the pastor was saying last week, stewardship. Now, for everything that came through my hands would become the investment. The resources would become the working capital. The resources will become my shares. The resources would have been something else. But most of the resources that came through my hands, I can't even account for. Limitations. God blesses us and manage the resources. Bought a bicycle. Manage the resources. Bought a what? A motorbike. Manage the resources. Bought a small car. Managing resources. He came to a point where he could pray for money and money would generate from nowhere and be there.
Yes. Amen. Hallelujah.
Haven't you heard about him praying for money? He would walk around, come back, count, the money is multiplied. It's impossible. It's impossible. If you are a bad steward, God will never, never do that. I'm telling you this. It is trust that God had in a person. He had such trust in him that he could allow everything to go to him because of stewardship. So, okay, now I'll take a little bit further from there. It is all up to us. Do you know what? Give a Wester $1 million and wait for him for the next 6 months and go back to him and ask where the resources has gone. It should have disappeared. I was crying about debt. Not my personal debt, because in my personal capacity, I only have a personal loan with Westpac. I took the personal loan some few months ago. But otherwise, most of the debt that I had was company debt. Growing from superannuation, growing from tax, tax. There are a lot of taxes involved. There's the payroll tax, there is the normal tax, there is the return to work, there is superannuation. There are all these things that comes by when you run a business. And you find that 60% goes to taxes, government taxes. That's how the government have designed the tax system. They have designed it in such a way, if you pay wages above 1.5 million a year, there's what they call payroll tax. They tax you for paying more wages. You pay people wages above 1.5 million a year, we are going to give you a tax, heavy tax. And they say, we need 20,000 because you've exceeded, need 20,000 this month. Not next month. That particular month, they tax you 28,000. They tax you 18,000, depending on how much you've paid. Per month. If they tax you 18,000 per month, what about 12 months? Because why are you paying people so much? Why are you paying tax above this? This is the limit. God, don't go above 1.5. Don't go above that. If you go above that, we're going to tax you. And they do. So you find they say, okay, return to work. If somebody's injured, you must make sure their bills are paid for. Where do I get the money from? They don't pay a cent. You pay everything for them. So you pay around $300 per pay run per person to cover in case they get injured at work. That is over and above their wages. So we are saying those are the things that are there. But all comes down to stewardship. In such an environment and circumstance, you have to survive. How do you survive? Stewardship. The little that you have, you manage to do all that and survive. We are in business. We are surviving. It is because you learning, God, how can I be a best steward? How can I be like my father? You know, Dr. Gutuku do not judge good stewards. But most of elders and deacons and going down there, we are so confident because we have got a paycheck next time. The pastors knows that if I don't keep what I have now, what happens if next week people say they don't need a pastor? What are they going to do? So they have to keep what they have. And good stewardship. Say hallelujah. Hallelujah. Good stewardship. So, now, there are a number of ways we make income. One income stream is not enough. Whether you like it or not, this is the truth. If you are employed, you get a salary or a wage. That is one income. If your wife, your husband is employed, if you are married, those are two income flows. That is, if you put your money together. Some families don't put their money together. It works for them. Some families put. We are where we are because of the income you are getting. Very difficult to manage one single income. So what you need to do is to get the third income flow. or the second income flow. I'll go slowly on this one. Okay, I'll give you a scripture. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 18. One pastor told me it's called Deuteronomy. I used to say Deuteronomy, but I don't know whether Deuteronomy is correct or not. I don't know. That is a common one. We know it. We know that one. Before you open it, you even know it. And you shall remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant, which he swore to your fathers as it is this day. So the blessing is not for your purpose, but it is for the establishment of the covenant. Now, I am going to talk about, for he gives you power to get wealthy. I think I've said this before. He gives you that power to get wealthy. Now, this is how we do it. If you want to do the second income, if you want to get a second income or a third income, number one, you must be aware of your passion. What is your passion in life? Desires. I am going to how to identify your second income flow or stream. What is my passion in life? What are my desires in life as a person? What brings joy to me? What are my potentials? What can I do? What is it that I have in me that I can do? You are identifying the second income flow. Then from there, you probably think of a product. If you are a manufacturer, you might think of a product. It's very easy to think of about a product. What product are you thinking about? Are you thinking about peanut butter? Comes to your head. Even when you want to buy and sell, what product comes into your hands? What is it that you want to buy and sell? It's something you need to think about. Oh, what services can I provide? What services can I give? Am I an artisan? Am I an engineer? Am I a doctor? Who am I? What can I do? What are my qualifications? How can I use my qualifications? It's something that you ponder. You are pondering, you are pondering, you are pondering, you are pondering. This approach is what we call the old time approach. In the olden days, people would, even today, it's very possible, people think in advance for others. Think about internet. Think about Elon Musk. Think about Bezos. Think about Steve Jobs. Think about Bill Gates. Think about all these guys. They think for us. They think for us. They bring the product on the market. They think for us. But it's not always the case like to the general public. The easier way in the general public is to identify what people are looking for. You know, I went to Bunnings. Normally I go to Bunnings not to buy, but to watch people buying. I watch people buying. So I go to Woolies, I watch people buying. I go to Coles, I watch people buying. I just do it on purpose. What is it that people are buying? And you pretend as you are. Then you find, okay, this product is in demand from Bunnings. You can tell from Bunnings. There was, last time when I was looking to, I could see plumbers get into a certain section. They're picking. Another one come, they're picking. Then I said, why are they not picking everything? What's this? And they went there and they said, okay, let me find out. What is this? Who manufactures this? Is it coming from China? Is it a local product? You know, I was just looking at people buying. People buying because I had no product in mind. I had no product to buy and sell in mind. But I could see, and I picked a number of products that I thought, these guys, this should be something. And I researched on them. Last time I said I spent 16,000 researching on Amazon. How just find a product. These days, you don't just come up with a product to say, Doctor, I want to sell bananas in Monson Lakes. You can't do that today. Because you are going to buy them and no one is going to buy them. But you need to identify first, okay, these things is only for plumbers. Why is everyone, why is not every builder? So it's specific to plumbers. So when you get that product, you make sure you know how many plumbers are around here. Are there any substitute products? Who are the main players in this system? There's a lot of work to be done. I'm not talking of people who want to, what we call quick money fixes. Quick money fixes. Just buying some few things here. You sell, then you use the whole money. Quick money fixes. That's what I'm not talking about that. I'm talking of somebody who wants to gradually grow into something. You can do it. Everyone has the ability to do it. I have a friend of mine, Scott. He was a teacher. He was an English teacher from the university. They were in the same class. And they were struggling. You know, where I come from, teaching used to be so profitable in those days. But down the line, teaching became a burden because the government could not even pay teachers because the government thought that teachers are influencing voters not to vote for them. So they were punishing them because of votes. They accused them that you are the one teaching people to vote for the opposition party because you are teachers all over. So we are going to punish you. We are not going to give you a salary. And he then said, no, let me teach Shona. People are failing Shona. Most people in Zimbabwe, they fail Shona, their mother language. Most people fail. He started a small online class for Shona in English because they knew that English in Zimbabwe without teacher. Said, I am not an artisan, I cannot fix, but what I can do, I can teach. You come to, you want to come in the diaspora, they ask you to sit for English test. From there, they started one class online, teaching English now, and geography. Online, what do they do now? They had 2, 3 classes. When we moved from Zimbabwe to the diaspora, they were the ones whom we left in our house because there's nowhere to stay. They had to stay in our house, and they never paid rent. They were going to school, they were being paid, but they failed to pay. And this school is now teaching all subjects. And he's the principal, and is now called Dr. Scott. You see, you do the lessons online. Access to rent attracted people to his school. That's one person. That's one person. You need to do that. Find out. She is selling a number of things. Zungu, peanuts, what else? Scones, this thing, the hair, whatever, and others. Now the pastor is podcast, is publishing books, and we bought a number of them ourselves, and a number of us bought a number of books. But what I like with them is stewardship. Do you know if you pay them $24 for the scones, wages from Forward in Faith. But anything they do besides that, they are putting that aside. Just imagine if they are selling $1 scone, for them to get $1,000, you need 1,000 of them. Where are you going to get the 1,000 people? It is weak after week, after week, after week, after week, and they get 2,000. And if they could look into the account, the $1,000 is seated in there. What's wrong? If you sell a scone, or say per week you sell 100, you are 1,000 better than what you were last week. And if you do it next month again, you are going to have 2,000. Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 years, you'll be able to buy a house. You'll be having enough money to buy a house from scones. This pastor from Methodist is a friend of mine. He said to me, John, I have built a house in Zimbabwe, a big house in Zimbabwe. That's what he told me. I built a big house in Zimbabwe. Do you know how he raised the money? His wife is a registered nurse. He is, like me, a support worker. What happens? He picks those empty containers, these ones, from his workplace. This 10 cents. And he said, John, I pick a lot of them from our workplace. You used to have 1, 2, 3 here in the bag, 1, 2, 3 here in the bag. And he went to the management where he's working and said, can I allow me to put those bigger bags here so that when these guys, they can throw all these containers in there. Then they said, oh, that's recycling. Where do you want to put them? You put one there, one there. So every week, he has a truck. He puts it in the truck. He goes into his garage. He puts them on drops them on the floor, and you crashes them with his truck. And they become like that. And when he gets the 2,500, what does he do? He sends the man to Zimbabwe to buy bricks. Now, is it not a third income flow? How much are you despising this 10 cents? You are despising it because it is 10 cents. But you do not know the magic of this 10 cents when put together over time. As you do that, you are inviting the spirit of entrepreneurship and see the 2,500 seated in your account from this. What comes into your brain? I want to do more. The more you say I want to do more, that is how you are taking in the spirit of entrepreneurship. You are giving birth to a spirit of entrepreneurship. Just imagine after a time, from 2,500, you see that it's 5,000. What comes into your brain? I think I can do more. I think I can do more. I think I can do more. If you're a good steward, let's say it comes to 10,000. What do you think? Do you know what he has done? He finally then had to hire those skip bins. Instead of the buckets and all that, he had to now to buy the skip bins. And he put the skip bin there, the skip bin there. Then after a week, he would go around his skip bins, take those things. But it started off with 1 or 2 of them from church. Oh, you actually can come from that point and say now, I want to get into some investments. You can get to that level. But it's not good just say, you know, let me tell you some of the things. I don't know, I don't want to go deeper into these things, but let me tell you some of these things. These are some of the things why we don't care. I'm okay. I don't want pressure. You know, there are people who just want to go to work, get their salary, pay their bills, do everything they want. Their superannuation is growing. That's okay. That is good. If it is the lifestyle that you want. If it is the lifestyle that you want, you can take, the pastor says, you can take a horse to the pool, but you can never force it to drink. That's exactly what you want. You don't want problems. You don't want challenges. It's okay. If you like it that way, you get exactly that. I said to my father, he worked for one company for 41 years. One company. He started as an artisan, as a carpenter. He started off as a carpenter after for graduation. From there, he was promoted to supervisor. From there to something until becoming export foreman. And he used to invite me to his company every Christmas and introduce me to all the bosses. This is my son, this is my... What other thing do you want in your life? Then he said, it's okay. I just want to go to my work, get paid my salary. I go home. On the weekend, I go to my rural area. I relax there, come back to work, and I'll die. It's exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did. He died like that. All that I got from my father is what call that? What? Dressing heaps of those things and others. So he said, John, that's your unit. Teresa, that's your unit. Tafadzwa, you get that one. Batsirai, you get that one. Enesia, you get that one. Sheila, you get that one. Tatenda, you get that one. And when he was saying that, I was already manager in the Reserve Bank. And I said, Dad, where do you think I would take this thing? I just loved it. I said, Dad, I thank you for your passionate. I like the way you do things. Do you think I need... Then I said to my sister who is in the farm, then I said, Tete, I bless you with my inheritance. I bless you. Take my inheritance. So she took the inheritance. Now it's in the farm there with her. Then I said, thank you, my old man. Is it all that you could do for 41 years in the company? That's all. I have already set an inheritance for all my 3 kids. I have 3 generations for them. We have a car to drive. Me and my wife, 1 car is enough. Me and my wife, 1 house with 2 bedrooms is enough. We don't need anything more than that. We have enough. We can go and buy a new suit. It's enough. 2 or 3 suits for me is too much. Children. I am trying to build something for them. And if you don't start now, when are you going to start? I was reading the autobiography of Donald Trump, and I found that when his grandfather died, he was given $261 million. That's what he was given by his grandfather, Donald Trump. That's how we started the real estate. His grandfather was... But we people, especially from my motherland, we want Prince to support me for our children. No. We must have enough and more than enough for ourselves. And what we are going to leave from more than enough is what we are going to leave to them. If you have got 4, the one that I'm staying in should have a suite. Comes later. I will give them 2, 4 bedroom house. But the bigger one is ours. I don't have to suffer for them. I have to influence. Are you enjoying your money? I want you to promise me when we come next year, I want a report. Are you traveling? Are you staying the best? Say to me, don't waste much money supporting people. They'll always ask and ask. They'll never say it's enough. Saving that money to make it 5,000. We have been saving for almost a year, saving that money. And we said, my father told me to go and enjoy my money and my wife. And I'm not using 15,000. It's only 5,000 per year. Second income flow matters. Second income flow matters. Let's go. Think about it. Think of something that you can sell of something only to leave the investment to Lazarus. You leave all the investment to Lazarus. And Lazarus then eats every rent income now he eats and his wife. And you were suffering for him. That is not right. How many of us here would want to enjoy life because my father suffered for it and never put one life to live? Without your money, my life is better. Am I driving the cars that I'm driving because my father gave me money? My father gave me a kitchen unit, but I don't survive on that. I survive on my own blessing. Hallelujah. Not on my father's. It is his choice to give me something. I don't have to suffer for Prince to be a tycoon. No. If he has a blessing to get to that level, he must tap into that blessing. Second income flow. Without second income flow, I'm telling you this, it's hand to mouth. The mortgage, you want to pay the mortgage there, you want to pay the bills there, you know what's happening with the bills, you want to pay that one, and one of my brother-in-law said to me, John, I am now tired, he's in UK. I am working hard, but here the bills are taking every cent. And one of the elders in Northern Territory told me, John, the worst devourer in life are bills. And continue like that for the next 6 months. If you don't want to do that, find something. Make a little research. What is it that people are looking for? What is it that people are looking for? You can tap into that. When I made some research, I found that people are looking for like tradespeople. They want in their garages that two hanger kits. Most of them, they just throw tools in the garage, some of them tools in their pockets. So I said, why can't I design this? And I designed it. So that you can come, you put your tools there, you can put a label, there's a slot for label. You put the label, and I could attach the label you can just write, put a label there. Then I said, if I can have 100 artisans who can buy this product, say for $200, then I can develop it. Simple things like that. If I can do this, why can't I start with never. If you want to do better, don't target the Zimbabwean market, don't target the South African market. Those two countries don't deal with business with people from Zimbabwe and South Africa, because they're selfish. Do you know a Zimbabwean? Slanagan is a mechanic, but you never see my car in Slanagan's hands. I'm telling you, whether you like it or not, until I started to trust him, that he is responsible enough with my car. I need that trust. He needs that trust from me. He cannot trust me with his children unless he starts to trust me. Then you can know that if I leave my children with Elder John and Elder Friends, they're in safe hands. You don't just trust your boys with anyone. No. You need the trust with that person first. Same with the Zimbabweans. That's a Chinese language. You look after yourself. But when you go to the Indians and this other culture, they support each other. They will never give a car to another person. Every car goes to him. So we are saying, when you are doing this research, make sure you target a local community. a mixed community. A mixed community. The other thing was, I was saying to Gracious, you are good at designing. You are a journalist by profession. You used to manage universities with graduations and all that. You are good at that. Why are you wasting that? Why are you wasting that ability? You say, no, that as long as I'm working with my dad and my mom, and because if you work with your dad and your mom, you learn nothing. You learn nothing. Because you are learning nothing. Because there are no restrictions there for you. Because of course you can be strict, but up to what extent if your child is working with you? There's a next step. When we went to Nazareth, we had a meeting there, and he said to me, if I want to prove that you're a business person, don't tell me about your dreams and everything. Tell me if you are able to make a cent, give you a cent. If I give you 1 cent, are you able to make another cent? If you are able, you're a business person. But if I give you $10, then after a time, you say you're getting into business, and I find you with $6, then you don't have the ability to make money. You don't have the ability. Even you say, I want to start a big business. Start with that one and prove yourself. Can you make money out of your first business? Are you able to be accountable to yourself and others with yourself, with your first income? How accountable are you with the first money that you got? That is how we develop. That's how we grow. Why can't you just start with, okay, it is very difficult. Okay, say, okay, I don't know my market, but why can't I just try, what can I do? 3 of them. You go around, I'm selling this, I'm selling. Oh, Tipeo. Then you put conditions. I need cash. Pay debt. They develop, but the debt, they leave it to you. And you sell for $13. You get $3. Put it aside. Buy another one. $3. Put it. You are testing your ability to make money, to multiply money. If you can't make $3 profit out of a $10 product, try $2 and see what happens. If you can make $2 and be accountable. If you start with $100, take the 15, put it in the account. Spin again the $100. It comes back to stewardship. How disciplined are you in terms of money? I think I haven't done justice, of course, I know. I haven't done justice. But at least my point is one. You have a second income stream. Start with, if nothing is in your hands, you think, okay, I think this product, people need it. They pay. Not everyone who says, give me a product, no. I know even Ashley's milk, some haven't paid. Because some people here didn't pay. She's broke. Well, some people owe money here. And they are Zimbabweans. I'm not saying they are bad, but they are my people. Those are the only people whom I know. But I want to pray for something. Doing projects. But go and do a service, free service somewhere. Without being paid. That is business. Go to the library. Give them 2 hours once a week. Go to the salvos. Give them 1 hour a week for free. You have invested in God. You have invested in God. But if you can do something, I want to pray for this spirit. That confidence. I I wanted to have that confidence to a point. I was surprised that I was invited in the city. There was these Chinese guys. There was me from Africa. There are these guys from Australia, and the team of those guys. And the chairman was introducing, and he started with me, saying, we have a great man amongst us. John is here today. And I was saying, whoa! And you know what? This Chinese guy, most of the high-rise buildings in Adelaide, he owns them. Some of the high-rise buildings. And I don't tell them that I stay in Andrews Farm. I don't tell them that. I stay in South Australia. That's where I stay. I don't even tell them that I stay in Andrews Farm, because they will undermine me. I'll just say, and they will be there. And the introduction was not only that one. The other one said, I wanted a loan, and said to me, John, okay, can you sign? How much do you want? Then I said, I want so much. Can you just, he printed the copy, said, can you sign there? Then I just said, so when do you want it? So I want it by this time. Okay, by 4:30 today you have it. Then I said, no, you have to check my credit history. You have to check all those checkings that normally happen. And John, no. Then I said, why? Your reputation is good. Then I said, and I have this, I'm looking at this ATO, this and everything. And some people are looking at me and saying, you're good something. What am I saying? You know, here, until we get to a level where these guys recognize us, they don't respect us. Whether at work, whether a manager, whether who you are, you can see that the levels are different. The way they treat us is different. Haven't you heard Mr. Trump, when the African leaders went to America, what did they say about English? That African president, when he spoke in that, what did he say? Which school did you come from? That is an insult, Baba. That is an absolute insult. Say, your English is good. Where did you get that English from? Which school did you go to? What is he asking? What is he asking? He's saying to me, you must not speak that English language. That's not good. Why should you ask me about my language? How, you know, which school did you come from? Even I ask you the B, which school did you go to? I am undermining you. Because you went to the upper top, I went to the high school. So what can come from that? But what I'm saying is, we need to come to a level where we are respected. You cannot be respected for nothing. When you do a project, let it be successful. When you start a business, when I say business, even buying and selling, simple things, where you put your faith. You start with it and you put your faith there. Simple things. Let God multiply it. Let God multiply it. Whatever comes through you, let God multiply it. Whatever, let it multiply. Start something small. Start something small. Let it multiply. Start something small. Let it multiply. Start something small. Let it multiply. As I'm speaking, if you are hearing my voice, let's start now. Let's start small. Let's start small. Be a good steward. 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 Let's start small. Be a good steward. Father, thank you for your grace. I impart the spirit that attracts finances. I pray for this spirit that attracts money. Heavenly Father, we are here under your voice. We submit and we know it is done. The power and the blessing is right here with us. I declare it